Hi, movie pilots. I'm Olivier Assayas. I'm a French filmmaker. I made a movie called Carlos about terrorism in the 70s, if that appeals to you. And it's opening on November 4th.
Mein Name ist Carlos. Ihr habt bestimmt von mir gehört.
Well, everything was difficult, you know. It's basically, you know, we shot it in 92 days. It's a period piece involving the shooting in 8 different countries, and so it means, you know, shooting 3 6-week movies back to back. You know, shooting one film in 6 weeks. So it's okay if it's a, you know, if it's a contemporary film in three or four different locations, you know, like, why not? But in this case, it was in this case it's much more complicated. And again, I mean, the action scenes, the period setting, the extravagant number of locations. It was very tough. It was very tough. I would never do it again. It's too complicated. English was fine. I mean, you know, most of the French speakers, Spanish speakers, or German speakers were kind of fine with the English. So that was kind of okay. It was more difficult when we were shooting like the OPEC scenes because we had extras from all over the world, you know, because they came from all of the OPEC countries. Some of them only speak Arabic. Some of them only spoke French. So we constantly needed to have translation on the set. No, for me it was all new. I mean, and that was the exciting part of it. You know, for me it was the opportunity. It was, you know, it's really interesting because I wrote this screenplay, which where most of the cast, I mean, apart from Carlos, was, I mean, well, all the important parts were German actors, and. So for me it was fascinating because it's an opportunity, you know, just interviewing, meeting the whole generation of young German actors, and it was extraordinarily exciting and interesting and stimulating because I think there's much more diversity in terms of actors and actresses in that age group in Germany than in France. In France it's kind of restrictive. In Germany it's much more open, so in that sense it's stimulating. Terrorism is one of the tools of modern geopolitics. Somehow, you know, to me, there's no such thing as terrorism. It's all about state terrorism. So the issue about any terrorism is basically which is the state that is sponsoring it, and to whom is it actually sending a message. So in that sense, in the technical sense, the status of terrorism is always the same. It hasn't changed and basically won't change. What has changed is the ideology of terrorism. Now, a lot of the terrorism today is defined by religious convictions. In the 70s, it was about ideologies. It was so it's not, you know, so obviously it's from a completely different nature. It's one chapter in the life of Carlos. There is a moment when all of a sudden he's in the media. That's after the Rue Toulier shootout. All of a sudden he's all over the place in the media. You know, they're looking for him in Paris, they're looking for him in London, they're looking for him wherever, and he's become this, you know, he shot 3 cops in 15 seconds or something like that. You know, he's just like, who is this crazy man and why did he do it? And what's the use of him? You know, once the Vienna operation is over, he's dangerous. You know, you can't assign him to other operation because he's too visible, too well known. So, you know, it's what his downfall is about also. And I warn you, this is a very long film. It's like 5.5 hours, so just be patient.